And I remember I read Mark 16 one time where it says, Jesus said, these signs will follow you. And I would always just think about these signs and wonders follow. Like when you're preaching the word, of course, like when you preach his word, when you quote his word does not return back void. So when you preach his word, there's forgiveness. It generates faith in people. And then things start happening. Some people start receiving, and some people get healed in service, and just things that happen. I would always just think that, like,
as you're
ministering, mm-hmm. God will confirm his word.
Yeah.
But one day he showed me, he started showing me, like, that, by doing what I've done over the years, like in Texas, like going to the jails, going to the streets, and like the trips that we have been on, like just the mission trips that we've been on, like doing what God tells us to do. And he said, signs follow that. That's not necessarily just right where you are. Like when you get back home, I'm following you. Like the power of God follows you
in everyday life.
And like about those cats, like we're trying to catch these cats, and I'm under the house, and the next thing you know, they're in our house. Like, how did that happen? That was a manifest, like our angels, man. Like, how did these cats get into our house when our doors are locked? And anyhow, that's another. But like so many things have happened at our house, like so many unusual things. And that's what the Lord referred to at that time. Like when I got to thinking about it, I was like, why are all these things happening, man? Like, wow, things. And the Lord just said, well,
not just when you're on the road or
not
somewhere else.
Not just when you're behind a pulpit or something, or like on the jail streets. Now I'm going to follow you. The power of God is with you, on you, in you. And your angels are with you. They don't leave you. Jesus said, I'll never leave you or forsake you. So it's like, no, because so many happen, like, when you're at home, it's just like with that deer, like, Lord, I want to see a deer. And the next thing you know, I start the truck in the garage. There's a deer standing up right in front of the truck, which in Colorado, that's not a big deal. But in Texas, it is. Them dudes are running 100 miles an hour because they're getting shot at. But here's a deer stands in front of my truck, and I'm able to pet it. But anyhow, like, I mean, I could just go on and on. But what I feel like saying now, or kind of what the Lord reminded me of at night as well, was kind of like when we got the way the Lord knew that we would meet each other in a few weeks. Mm-hmm. So I was driving tractor in 2001 in West Texas, and I was single, and I was listening. I think some of you may have heard this, but I was listening to K-Love.
Just a side note, have you thought about today's Valentine's Day?
Oh, no. I didn't.
Maybe that's
why. No, yeah, I did. I bought you flowers.
No, but right now,
I bought my
with this story,
flowers too.
What? Right now with this story, though. You probably hadn't thought, but that's probably why you're telling that.
So, K-Love is like, if there's single people out there and you're looking for a mate, we'll say a prayer for you. And, and I'm telling you, like, that's why you cannot take things lightly, because I'm like, yeah, I would do want to be in agreement with that prayer. And they prayed. I forgot what they prayed. All I knew is, like, just be calm. God will work it out. Like, and I never was, like, crazy, like, never had really dated anybody seriously. Never. I had never bought any girl flowers. Never, like, none of that stuff. But what?
You forgot maybe what they prayed, but at the same time,
I
hooked onto that.
Yeah, I felt that prayer be answered. Like, I could sense it. Like, I don't know how to explain it. I was like, I could sense it. It happened. And I'm like, oh, wow. And so, like, a year and a half went by, like, or a year or so, a little over a year. Just never really, like, how some people are. They're looking at every person. Is this person? And the Lord said, you're going to go to Israel. So here I am in Israel. We spent one of the nights at the Sea of Galilee, which is really cool. There at night, I remember the stars are just so beautiful. And I'm like, God, God used me, God. It was just so beautiful, like so many things happened there at the Sea of Galilee. So the next day we went to the Golden Heights. So we're like on a tour bus, And then on the way back, the tour bus driver said, okay, we're going to spend one more night at the Sea of Galilee, and then tomorrow we're going to go on to Jerusalem. And I'm like, yeah, because the Sea of Galilee was so cool. And the evening was early. So here we are early going to Sea of Galilee again. And he's like, whoever wants to get off the bus, just get off. And this was before we even met.
We had seen each other in passing somewhere, along, but not like we had.
And you were actually dating someone else at the time.
We hadn't officially met.
Yeah, we had not met. And I had zero idea, like, as far as I had not a clue, like, of a girlfriend or anything like that. And so the tour bus driver said, whoever wants to get off at the Sea of Galilee, you may do so. But whoever wants to stay on the bus, or whoever wants to go to Tiberias to a jewelry shop, just stay on the bus and we'll go there since the evening is, early, and then we'll come back. Dude, like him talking about a jewelry shop, like I'm a country boy, right? No jewelry, never been in a jewelry shop. Like, what do I want at a jewelry shop?
Compared to the Sea of Galilee?
And I came out of the Mennonites, Mennonites, a lot of Mennonites don't do that stuff, like. But anyhow, so like that was the furthest, like it just went over my head, like, man, my mind was on the Sea of Galilee, man. So as the bus got to that little hotel, which there's a new one now that we stayed the last time we went, but back then it was the older hotel there, and it had like a what do you call it, like a roundabout, whatever. Mm-hmm. But as the bus started getting to the point where it was gonna stop, I wanted to get up, but I couldn't get up. Like I couldn't get out of my seat. Like God was keeping me in my seat. And right away I was already used to it because there was already like unusual things happening. Like the power of God just happening.
Like supernatural things.
Supernatural things. I knew right away, like, God, what is going on? But then he fast forwarded. I don't remember people getting off the bus. I don't remember it even stopping completely. The next thing I knew, that bus was driving, and here I am on the bus. I do not want to be on the bus. I don't want to go to a jewelry shop. I want to be over there. But here I am, and I'm like, but this is, and we shared this in the new book that we're done. We're just going over it.
We're almost Faith ready to release it.
So the story's in there. But I used my faith. Like I used my faith. I couldn't see. Faith is a substance and evidence of things not seen. Like. Mm-hmm. I couldn't see, like, who is this for? Or like, why am I going here? But I just used my head. Smith Wigglesworth said one time, like, a lot of problems would be solved if you just think. Like, just think, man.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't say it that way, but he just said,
Mike
just
Murdoch,
think.
remember, he would say, if you think twice, you're the genius in your family.
Yeah. So I'm like, but I just acted on what I thought God wanted me to do.
Yeah. And
like for sure, like a country boy, like for sure, like the thought never even crossed my mind, like that I would buy something for myself. Like dudes just don't do that, you just don't cross with, with jewelry, or not cross with jewelry, but by faith, I acted on it and I bought a necklace, bought a stone that came from the mountains or from Israel. It was like a greenish stone necklace, and so I bought that by faith, not having any idea like who this is for, but God knew that in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks actually, that I would meet her, that we would be sitting side by side at my mom and dad's house, actually 7 hours away. So when I got back from Israel, then
it was because you went like a couple weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah. So when I got back from Israel, I drove 6-7 hours to East Texas for Thanksgiving. And then my sister brought you there. And the first thing we did is we looked at the first thing we ever did together was look at pictures of Israel.
Yeah.
Think about it. And think about the call that is on us about Israel as well. Like, Judges 6. There's a stream in us, like as far as a call to stand up for Israel, to be a voice, And so, yeah, the first thing we ever did together was sit at a table, look at pictures of Israel. Mm-hmm. And I always said, Lord, you're going to bring my wife right beside me. I don't know why I always said right beside me, like right to my right, And then my sister pushed Jackie like right to my right.
They were trying to set us up. Obviously they were successful.
It was a holy moment.
But they were trying to set us up.
Fireworks were going off like.
That's why she pushed me, was because they were trying to set us up.
And since I loved my parents so much, I had to come back and see them for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And then that's when I gave her the necklace. But anyhow, like you talk about the power of God. I mean, think about it. Like, it's like if you have a friend or something, like how will you, I think about the Lord, right? How he's a friend. He's a savior. He's a provider. He's a healer. He's a redeemer. But man, when you embrace like what he does and his humor and how he operates, how he's not just a stiff neck. I mean, he's not stiff necked to begin with, but I think sometimes people
like rigid and stiff and religious.
Yeah, like he will fellowship with you in ways that like you didn't think. Like he really is a friend, but it's like when you embrace him as a friend like that, that's just how he works with you. Like the power of God is working in your life like that. Like, what do you mean you couldn't get out of your seat? And literally, like fast forwarding that moment. Like, I'm not gonna let you get off the bus like a tape recorder. Fast forward. Okay, now push play again. That's exactly how it happened. And anyhow, But yeah, I don't know if you want to add anything to that, but that's
No,
kind
you're
of
good.
just a wild. And I think about Isaiah 6, where Isaiah. Maybe we should read it. And this is also stuck out to me, like when I started seeking Him. Let's see where Isaiah is. Isaiah 6. And this means a lot to me, like often when you see scripture and like you've done it, you've been there, like where Jesus said in John 14, like if you seek me, if you love me, I will disclose myself to you. And you read that and you're like, that happened. That's happened. Like that has happened and is happening, where Jesus discloses himself to you. Jesus said he would do that to the person who loves me. He said not just certain particular people, He said, he that loves me, he said, I will love him, or my Father will love him, and we will manifest ourselves to him. I will disclose myself to him. And I read that, and I'm like, that's happened. Like, that is happening. Like, he's revealing himself to me, like in ways where sometimes it's like, honestly, like in 2014, like, Lord, stop talking to me already, like, because my flesh can't handle it, It's like, your body, like in the book of Revelation, John fell over as a dead man. It's like your body starts, like can't handle like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why I knew in 2001, like another time when he showed up beside my bed, like that's after that, like the holiness of God, how holy he is. And like in my own words, I would always say, man, the holiness of God will kill you, man. What I mean by that is your flesh dies in his presence. Like God is so holy. It's not that he's angry at you. It's just that our bodies, these current present bodies, were not designed to be in his presence. And that's why you need to look forward to a new body. And I understood that at the very beginning, because I said, Lord, show me your power, show me your glory. And I go to bed, boom. And man, I'm telling you,
He did.
He did. He showed me his power and his glory, but his holiness. Like often you look at the Bible and you see that word holy in there. Man, I'm telling you that, like, do you really know what that word holy means? I'm not sure a lot of people do. Because that word holy right there, it will knock you down to the ground. And not that God hates you. It's just that.
Well, it's like that scripture that says no flesh will glory in his presence.
Yeah, I was reading that this morning. No flesh will glory in his presence. And just like we know that guy who went to heaven, or that minister who went to heaven, and he said he would get weak in heaven, when he was up there for 5 hours, and he had to eat a certain food to get strength because of the glory of God. And I'm telling you, yeah. These bodies are present, and it's our other bodies that can withstand his glory and his holiness. And that so in Isaiah 6, I'm gonna get there. So this happened at night. I'm like, dude, Isaiah, man, I know what you're talking about. So it's like Isaiah 6:4 or Isaiah 6:3, and one called out to another. So this is like the throne of God, describing the throne, like in Revelation 4 it talks about it, in Ezekiel 1. And one called to another and said, holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The whole earth is full of his glory. And check this out. In verse 4, and the foundations of the thresholds trembled at the voice of him who called out, while the temple was filling with smoke. So those words right there, I'm like, like, and the foundations of the thresholds trembled. And one of those nights, like I heard it so often back then, and every once in a while I would hear it again. I'm wide awake, but I hear like a rushing sound, like a trumpet. It's a sound that you don't hear on earth. Like between a waterfall, a trumpet, a loud wind, like I would hear it. And then when I hear it, my flesh just begins to like. But one of those nights, I had my elbow, like my bed. So my brother and I were bachelors, right? So one of those nights, when I was hearing this, like, my elbow was just barely touching the wall, and the wall was shaking. And these are things that we don't talk to a lot of people about, because, there's a lot of things I've never shared with people. But man, it's like when the Lord tells you, you need to share some things about the power of God. But man, I'm telling you, the wall was shaking. Just like it says here, the threshold shook at the presence of God. And I remember, like, in the morning, I asked my brother, I'm serious, this is so real, man. I asked my brother, I said, did you feel something shake at night? Like, I was just going to say, did he feel what I feel? Like, was this an earthquake? Like, what was this? Because the wall was shaking, man. He's like, no, no, like he didn't, what I was,
Nothing.
I was like, whoa, but anyhow, but I do remember when I started seeking God and like embracing his power, like who he is, like he doesn't cast his pearls before swine. Like if you just mock at him and think he doesn't interact with people on earth, like what? Like you have to read the scripture, like.
Or that maybe even that stuff is, passed away. That kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. That wild kind of stuff, like, oh, God doesn't do stuff like that.
So that's why I like in our other book, Acts chapter 3, the acts of then are the acts of now. Like, so the whole point of putting these, and that was not my idea. It was like God's idea. Like the way he's has been prompting us to put our books together is all the things that he's been doing. I want you to put those in your books because I want people to connect the God of power then. He is still the God of power now. The acts of then are still the acts of now. That's the subtitle to the other book.
And with this new book, faith works the same way now as it did then. Mm-hmm. It's not something new or different. It's the same thing. It works the same way.
That's right. And I was in 2014. I've shared this psalm. Like the Lord just started talking, and I get used to it. He talks at night a lot. But he just started talking about different things about the country. One of the things he said, I saw a crossword puzzle. And this was when a lot of those crazy murders were going on in 2015. Like I think there was one in Florida and another place where these terrorists were like the way they shot up the place. And like it was just crazy. But in that one dream, I saw a crossword puzzle and I heard the Lord say that this country needs to go back and search for the words whereby it was founded. Like go back and look. And I'm telling you, the senator of Florida, like the next day or two, was it the next day? There was like a massacre. One of the, what was it, at a mall or a bar or something like that out there? And that senator, got on national television and he basically said word for word what I heard. Mm-hmm. And he said, like, we need to go back and ask ourselves, who are we as a country? And I'm like, what? That's what the Lord wants. Yeah. Like he was speaking for God there as well. Like, but anyhow, so that same night, like just different things. And so around 4:00 in the morning, that's when I saw the Lord, like when he ministered on earth. Like he would, how he ministered for 3 years, but I saw one of the days how people treated him. And right away, it's like when I saw that, I could perceive you don't share this part, you can share this, but not this. And so, but when I started seeing these things, like how would I say it? Like my body, I couldn't handle it. Like my flesh was, like he's just showing me things, like Jesus said in John 14, I will reveal myself to you. I will disclose myself. Like my body couldn't handle it to the point where I wanted him to stop talking to me, like, because he had already been talking to me like just one thing and then another thing and then another thing. And by now it's like 4:00 in the morning. And it's like, and I began like to be like in a daze, So I know what Jeremiah was saying. Like I became like a drunken man because of the words of God. And that's how I became, like I wasn't myself. Like, and honestly, like I didn't want to pray in the spirit. I didn't want to pray because if I prayed, like I was like, man, God's going to respond. He's going to say something. Like I can't handle it. Like just stop already. And it's not that he was like, how often, like, how much we want God to show us things and talk to us. But then you get to the point where like, hey, time out. Like I'm in this body, God. Like you're not, like I can't handle you. Like, but honestly, I was like walking down like this, like for a few hours in the morning, like making coffee and breakfast and like just hoping God wouldn't say something, like just quit talking to me already. Like, thank you for everything you've shared, but I'm done for today, But I was like in that daze for about 10:00 in the morning. So I went to the ranch to go work and some cows I got out, and that ranch was like, right down there's a stretch. And I remember just walking up to that fence, like, how in the morning you're all full of vigor and ready to go. And man, I just walked up to that fence like, whoa, like still in the daze, like, slap myself trying to get out of it. But anyhow, like that's the power of God there. Like, and like he is a friend. And it's like, just like I said earlier, Jesus said, don't cast your pearls before swine because they'll trample on them like something that's precious. Mm-hmm. And that's why we haven't shared often more things. And it's amazing the people we have been around and just never have shared anything. But here we are, sharing things publicly. But anyhow, it's just real. And I'm doing it based on what the Lord said. You need to share some of these things. Like, he is the God of power. He is the God of thunder. He is the God of breakthrough. He's the God of turnaround.
Suddenlies.
He's the God of suddenlies. You know, he's not a God out there like, y'all better make good decisions, you know. No, he is very involved, and he loves people. He loves people. He's for people more than anybody would think, you know. He loves people. That's what it's all about. He loves people. And we're to be witnesses of these things. Like it says in Isaiah 43, God says, you are my witnesses. Well, what do you got to witness about? Like, what kind of witness are you? Like, how do you reflect God? If all they saw in your life was a lot of nothing, no fruit, that's not being a good witness. So it's like, you know, I'm just going to do what the Lord has told me over the years, and then things happen, and then I write them down, or he shows me things, I write them down, and then I'm going to share them because he asked me to share them. And it's my joy to do so, you know. But I'm telling you that.
Well, like you were saying about the love that he loves us.
I'm Jackie with Weeb Evangelism, and Peter and I want you to know how your seed is making an impact in people's lives, whether it's in the area of prisons and jails, street ministry, providing support to expecting moms in need, or books, or traveling ministry. One of the best ways that you can stay up to date with what we're doing in any of these areas and really just stay in the know of what's going on around here is by signing up for emails on our website, which is weebevangelism.com. We also want to give you the opportunity that if God is putting it in your heart to partner with us and help send us, you know, maybe you can't go yourself and maybe you're not called to go, but you do want to send. You can also find all the giving options and information right there on the website as well. You know, we are so thankful for people like you that really you just love other people so much that you want to be a part of them being reached, them being touched, being rescued by the love of God and by the power of His Word. And so we thank you and we love you, and we are really looking forward to every good thing that God has just ahead for each one of us.